Good afternoon guys, it's Saturday afternoon. We're taking the DC2 back to Stretton today. And we're going to do another track day at Cadwell in 2 weeks today. We're going to get the car back down there, start looking over it, make sure everything's good. Everything felt fine, but let's just have a double check just in case. What we're going to do today is, seeing as though I'm driving the DC2 down an hour, and then I'll be bringing the EG back up an hour, I thought we may as well do a comparison of the DC2 versus the EG. It's a question that I get asked quite often. What's the difference between the DC2 and the EG? Well, today hopefully we'll cover all those points and I'll be able to show you the differences. It's going to be quite difficult to explain because a lot of it's feeling, but I'll do my best. It's also going to be difficult to explain in a lot of areas where the DC2 is better without making the EG sound bad. Now the EG is obviously not a bad car, we know that, but because of the work we've done on the DC2 over the years, it's just got that extra edge in a lot of areas, and I'll do my best to explain that. Check out the heat that we got from Cadwell on the R888s. Whoa. But yeah, you've got to remember the DC2 is set up for track. On the road, the EG is so much better on the road. Absolutely, a million times better on the road. I've resurrected the SJ cam for this as well, so we can get some picture of the cars driving, as well as me talking with the GoPro and the mic. Sorry about the blur, I've still not fixed it. I'm going to try today and polish the lens. I keep forgetting, man, sorry. But we'll have a crack with the SJ cam as well, and hopefully get some clearer pictures. It's not too bad for 60 quid, that thing. Seems to work alright. With the DC2 compared to the EG is a VTech crossover. I'm not sure why, must be the map or something, but if I go into fourth gear now, about 4,500 revs, you'll hear the VTech crossover. Yeah. Fifth gear, probably a bit more, you'll be able to hear it. The car picks up so fast. That's not as nice in the DC2 than the EG is the road noise. You can't hear a thing. I'm having to shout just so I can make sure you can hear me. Hopefully the microphone's sorting everything out and you'll be able to hear me alright, but fuck. Right, I've pulled up just before going onto the motorway. Let's go through a few things about the DC2 which make it better than the EG on track. So the first thing's the tyres. We've got R888s and Federal RSR on the rear. They're not too bad on the road, but especially in kind of damper conditions they can get a bit scary if you want to push on the road. We've got the spoon monoblock calipers with a 300mm disc. The stopping force of the DC2 compared to the EG is quite something you've got to feel to believe. This thing stops so much more confidence. The EG's brake setup's not bad by any means, but the extra force on the spoon monoblock calipers is just something else. Now the suspension that we're running on DC2, I'm running the Yellow Speed premium competition coilovers, which are Yellow Speed's kind of basically just track coilovers and not really meant for the road. You can still use them on the road fine, as you can see, but it's just not comfortable at all. So people who have been subscribed to the channel for a while will remember when we butchered the DC2 in the goal of losing weight. We did lose a lot of weight. You know, the car weighs around 940 kilos now with the cage in, which is pretty good for a DC2. On the same topic of removing weight, we also got rid of the heaters, the stereo, anything that would make you enjoy being in the car just on a normal drive is gone. So the car's only really good on the road when you want to go fast, and the more track days you do, the more you're inclined to not go fast on the road, I find. So it's not something I enjoy driving on the road that much, to be honest. Now and again I love taking it for a blast just for nostalgia, but it's not something I'd choose to drive very far at all. On the ventilation side of things, we talked about not having heaters. Well, the DC2's also got plastic windows, and it did have all 5 plastic windows, but it was just so fucking hot in there. What we ended up doing before going to the ring was fitting a glass window in this side by the slider. so we've got a manual slider in here. I could ideally get a handle for this, but we're just rocking the vice grips at the minute. But it does the job. It's just not a nice car to drive on the road. On the track, the DC2 versus the EG. Honestly, the DC2 would pull quite a big gap quite quick. It can brake a lot later, it can brake a lot more aggressive. I'd argue that I could carry more corner into speeds in this thing as well. Basically because of the setup and the coilovers and the grippier tyres. I think I might be due a new steering wheel soon. Maybe. Still works, so the jury's out on that one. One of the things about driving this car is it's hard to drive it normally, but in the EG you can just relax and sit back and have the radio on and chill out. In this car you can't. It's like a psychology thing. It's in your head that you're in a track car and you want to drive fast. My window winder does make a bit of a racket at times. Right, I've arrived at Stretton. I'm just doing a quick Google to see how we can try and fix this lens scratch issue that we've got. See if this works.
You're gonna have to get a new one then.
Right, so physically the GoPro lens looks pretty fucked, but we just looked on the GoPro app on my phone and it looked pretty much a lot clearer than what it was. So hopefully you can see me alright. I can certainly see myself in the lens. I think I've polished off all the UV protection and stuff. Yikes. The EG is looking quite sorry at the minute. It's been sat outside under a tree, so not ideal. Right, we're going to start the comparison of the EG against the DC2 by doing one of the things that the EG can do that the DC2 can't, and that's take people out on joyrides. So, we've got Alan in the car, we're going to see his reaction of the EG. How are you feeling?
I don't know, I've never been in a Honda before. So
Never been in a Honda? Jesus.
We'll see how it goes.
0 to 100, man. Right, so we just got to a country road now, so K20 reaction time, right? Just starting third? Third gear, go on.
That is fucking mint. Turn-in's not as good. Still turns in alright, like, but... You're a good driver, man.
Yeah. Right, so that's us back in the EG. How was it?
Fucking amazing. Literally, I want to buy one now.
One thing that I need to know after driving both these cars today is just how different they are. Like, this car's got one of the hybrid racing shifters on it. This one's got the DC5 shifter. That seems to make such a massive difference to the way you drive, just from the throw. I couldn't tell you which one I prefer. Possibly the DC5 one. The hybrid racing just feels a bit too close, but when you're on it and when you're driving fast, that feels amazing. You could compare them for days. They're just different and they're both good in their own ways. That's so much fun on the road though. So much more fun than this. Right, we're going to get another K-swap reaction video. So, UJ's not been out in a K-swap car before. Let's talk about the EG against the DC2. So much better on the road, so much more fun to drive on the road on these B roads. We've got so many of in England. It's physical appearance for me, it's a lot better in condition. Yeah, this car's only done 34,000 miles, so it's in a lot better condition underneath and exterior wise. I love the wheels, I love T37s on an EG, but apart from all the physical things, now this car has got 282 brakes from a I think they're from a, what they call an MB6, but on the rear we've only got 242s, which still discs all around, but the braking performance compared to the DC2 is just nowhere near. You don't have half as much confidence in these brakes as you do with the 300mm spoons on the DC2. On the road you don't really notice it, but on track you definitely notice it. So suspension wise on this car we've got all standard camber arms and toe arms and things like that. The only difference is that we've got Maestro coilovers on here, which are the road going versions. I think they're 12 kilo front springs and 6 back, I think. I'm not too sure, but they seem really good on the road. Happy with them. Apart from that, it's pretty much stock suspension wise. Now it doesn't seem to turn in as well as the DC2, but the DC2 has got 225 tyres up front, whereas we're only running 195 tyres on all 4 corners on the EG. We've not got a lot of room to go much wider. Now, straight line performance wise, I think there's not a lot in it. I think the DC2 might just take it. It's probably because of the gearing. This car as well, I'm not sure how it was mapped before. I know it's been mapped, it's running some kind of map for the RBC in the 3-inch, but the pull on the DC2 just, I don't know, we'd have to get them side by side and see which one was faster, I think. We'll have to do that one day. But to me the DC2 feels faster, but then again we've got no interior, no sound editing, nothing. The DC2 just feels fast no matter what. If you're doing 30 mile an hour, the DC2 feels pretty fast. Engine wise, on the DC2 we've got a DC5 engine, whereas this is an EP3 engine. So this is a K20 A2, whereas the DC5 is a K20A. There are differences in there. I'm not 100% what they are. I think the camshafts are different. The compression ratio is definitely different. Stock power on these is about 200 horsepower, where the DC5 engines, I think it's 212. So they're a bit more pokey out of the factory. Once they're tuned, there's not a massive amount of difference. We've got a different RBC inlet on here, we've got an RRC on there. Again, there's subtle differences. The RRC is from the FD2, this is from the Accord Euro R, I think. So engine wise, they're pretty much the same, but there are a few differences. Gearbox wise, both got DC5 gearboxes with plated diffs, so not a lot of difference. Although the DC2's got the 5.1 final drive, where this has got the stock 4.7. But with it having 15s, it's... After driving both the cars back to back today, I can definitely 100% say that this car is a lot better on the road. Simply because of the coilovers and more interior, and it's just a nice place to be on the road. On track, as we already know, the DC2 is better, so I can't really say which one's better package really overall. If you want a road car, then I'd prefer to drive this every day, but I'd prefer to take the DC2 to the ring. It's worth driving it that far and being put through that pain of driving it on the motorway for like 10 hours each way, because the performance would be that much greater on track. But that said, if I put, I don't know, 1,500 quid, £2,000 into this, I could have probably the similar performance in the corners and the brakes and retain all the interior and stuff as well, because the EGs obviously are lighter from stock. So. Both really good cars. I'm just glad that I've got one that's good on the road and one's good on track. So it's quite a good position to be in. Right, so I hope I've covered most of the points that people ask when they ask me about the EG and the DC2. It's easy really, track, road, simple. Not quite the same in here, is it? Still my car though. What have we learned today? I don't know which car's better. They both have their own purposes. They've both got pros and cons. They're very different cars. To say they've both got the same engine and they're both roughly the same chassis, they couldn't be further apart. I think we might need to get an S-body. Oh, just a final closing note. I'm thinking about getting an S-body. Let me know what you think. Right, we're driving home in the EG now. It's such a nice place to be. It genuinely is. Got heaters, I've got a sunroof, I've got electric windows, I've got electric mirrors. It's comfortable, it's just nice.